ladies. Welcome to our ambassador training. So whether you're on this call live or watching the recording, I'm just super excited that you're here. So we just got off this amazing opportunity call, and I was just sharing with the women that were jumping in the chat. I asked them, hey, what is your number? What is your number when it comes to freedom for you, for yourself, in your family? And we get numbers of, let's see here. Natalie says anywhere from 6 to 10K, but I have my eye on that $30,000 bonus. I love it. Dream big. Dream big, girl. I love it. $5,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $1,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $3,000. The reason why I'm saying this out loud is because chances are, whether you put a number in there or not, or maybe you're watching the recording and you were on that call, you have a number too. And there's a reason why that number is there. And the resources we have in here are going to, yes, Farrah said, speak it out loud and claim it. They're going to support you. These resources are going to support you. These women that are going to pray over you, it's going to be that support system that you need to be able to press in and to be able to go after that. And so I just think it's so important, because so often we're like, okay, let me shout out this number. That sounds good. But do we really believe it? Do we really believe that we can get there? Before I jumped on this call today, I was listening to this sermon from the pastor, Landon Schott, from Mercy Culture. It's a church out of Dallas, Fort Worth, hands down, one of my favorite. And he was talking about our belief, and he goes, this is so real. Hope you lean in on this. He goes, so if we believe that a virgin birthed the Son of God, if we believed that Jesus died and rose again 3 days later, but yet we don't believe that God's going to take care of our mortgage and he's going to take care of our bills, doesn't that seem a little off to you? And I was like, check. That was so real. For whatever reason that is so real, because we believe what the word says. Why? Because we've pressed in, we've taken the time, we believe. Why are we not believing for other things that God has said he's given to us? And maybe there's for you of like, okay, how am I going to pay for my membership this month? Or how am I going to make my car payment? Or how am I going to leave this job to be able to do this full time? I know there's people on the call that have really been wanting that. Yes, Dawn, I see you. I see you, Dawn. It's coming. 100%, Stacy. We put God in a box. We do. So let's take ourselves out of this box in the no man zone, the zone that the world doesn't want to be in. We're like, okay, Lord, I release it over to you. I am done. I declare it. I am done with my own strength, and I release it over to you. What's next? And that can be a scary place to be, because you want to have control over what's next. But when's the last time you actually sat in his presence and you're like, okay, Lord, what's next? And you sat there and you listened, and you really listened to his voice. That is so important, because so often we're like, okay, I can't stand the silence. I'm going to fill in the box and just go get started. Now, maybe this is just me, because I've done that way too many times to count. But in this season, God has just really just pulled me back into his presence so often. And I just am like, okay, Lord, what's next? What do you want? What do you want? Okay, so I have a few notes that I want to go over in the next 20 minutes. I was like, okay, Lord, what do you want on this training? Because this is your training, not mine. And I want to talk about, we actually talked about it on the opportunity call, but I want to reiterate it as far as perspective. Our perspective. And then we'll have some stuff when it comes to strategy for ambassador. But what I love when I come out and do a training, I'm like, we're also going to go to church, y'all. We're going to speak to your spirit, because so many people want the strategy, but where is that strategy rooted in? You got to check the root system first. Otherwise, it's just going to keep possibly pulling out of a place of lack. Or it's like, a plant in the root system is trying to pull all the nutrients out, but there's no more left because you haven't been fulfilling. You haven't been pouring in. You have to pour in. There has to be deposits before withdrawals. There has to be. So when it comes to the perspective shift, I shared this on the opportunity call tonight. When you think about things that are happening to you, God already knows how you're going to react, but he's waiting to see how you are going to see you react. No matter what happens. Oh, something just drained my bank account. Oh, I got in a car accident. What am I going to do? Oh, this happened. Oh, that happened. Things are going to happen, and they're going to test you. But how are you going to react? Are you going to still remain faithful? Are you still going to be surrendered and just be like, okay, Lord, I'm going to give it to you? And that's the same that goes in your business. There's women that come in here and they're like, okay, well, I've reached out to a couple of people and I haven't really heard back, so this must not work. Well, last week, Michelle was talking about give this a full, true year. There's going to be no's. There's going to be people that leave you on red. There's going to be maybes, and there's going to be yeses. But guess what those people are waiting for? They're waiting for you to be consistent and to show up that this truly is something that's a part of you, not just a flavor of the month. And I'm going to be honest, because there's a lot of people that jump from thing to thing saying, this is the best thing ever. This is the blah, blah, blah. We all seen it. Ground floor opportunity. This is the next best thing. We don't need to shout from the rooftops that this is the next best thing, because when we show up and we share what God's doing in and through us, that's going to speak volumes way beyond any product, right? Way beyond any product. But you have to keep seeding into it. You have to keep pressing forward. You have to. Because there's going to be plenty of roadblocks, but you give this your all for an entire year, you're going to reap those benefits. So let's think about it this way. What you did back in August is showing up now. Continue to follow up. What you do now is going to show up in January. Don't take your foot off the pedal, because we want the start of 2023 to be like, woo, let's go. Well, what you do right now is going to seed into that. So are you going to slump in being like, okay, well, it's the holiday time and I just want to chill. I just want to hang. I just want to be comfortable. Oh, that word comfortable. That should be a curse word in the vocabulary. I'm like, no, I don't want to be comfortable unless I'm sleeping in my bed and cozy. That's about it. That's all I want. I want whatever God wants for me. And there's going to be things, because you're going to see the world kind of slow down, take their foot off the gas. Like, just let me just chill for a little bit. But if you have a dream of the numbers that we talked about earlier, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month, Natalie wanting to go off that $30,000 bonus, which is 100% doable, that means you got to press in. That means there's going to be late nights and hard work. We're not going to tell you that this is going to be a cakewalk and you just kind of do it whenever you want. If you want something like that, that's going to take time to press into, because in order for you to make $5,000 to $10,000 a month in a regular job, that could take you a lifetime if you're in the right position, if they want to give it to you. And there's a lot of ifs there, and it's based on somebody else's control over you, rather than this being all in for you to control with God and partnering together. All right, let me look at my notes here. I only write these because sometimes I go off and I'm like, you know what? Like, God gave me some specific assignments to say, and I want to make sure that I hit them all. Okay, perfect. So I want to talk about what you do now that's going to show up in January. Think about what it is that you've done up until this point during the holiday season. What are your normal habits and routines? And write that down. And the reason why I want you to write that down is because when you see it written down of like, this is what I normally do, let's do something different. I want different results, so I need to do something different. Let's ramp things up. Okay, Lord, what are we going to do next? And again, this isn't coming out of your own strength. It's partnering with him, being like, who do you want me to reach out to? What do I need to press into today? And when it comes to pressing in, it's not, of course, reaching out, developing relationships and sharing the opportunity, absolutely, to help your GPA business grow. But what it also is learning more of the ins and outs of the business. What do I mean? The compensation plan, the difference of being an ambassador or a member, the different ways you get paid here, which I actually already mentioned that, all the resources we have in the back office, digging in with your team. How can I help you? Who are 3 people we can get on a call with this week? Like being able to create that momentum, because especially right now, people are going to be looking, is she coasting? Is she getting comfortable? Or is she still having her foot on the gas? Because so many people want something drastically different by January 1, but 2 months leading up to that, they take their foot off the pedal. How much sense does that make? It actually makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. But guess what people are still doing? They're still scrolling on social media. They're still thinking about, okay, like, well, let me just go check out what everybody else is doing. And when they see you in action and pursuing after your dreams and what God's put inside you, that's going to start speaking to them, being like, maybe I need to do that too. Because somebody is watching at all times. It may sound creepy, but it's true. Just because they don't like, comment, or share doesn't mean they're not watching. There are people that are constantly watching, and they love seeing people that are consistent, even if that's not them. They love it. Why? Because it's showing them, I should be doing this, but I don't really know. So keep showing up anyways. Take that ownership of being a CEO of your business. Because if you think about it, if you're a CEO over a multi-million-dollar business, what are you doing? What do you have to do? And guess what? We're doing a lot of that for you. We're doing the emails. We're doing a lot of the marketing. We're posting in the Facebook group or doing that. All you have to do is work on yourself and let God work in and through you. Share that, develop relationships, and share what God is doing here and be bold. Let them know this is a place you want to be. Not maybe, I don't really know. This is a place that you want to be fed, especially going into the new year if you want things to change. And that is so, so key. And then the last bit of this that I wanted to talk about when it comes to the membership, and I've been seeing this quite a bit lately, and I just want to speak into this, is and it may sound like, wait, I already know that, Molly, the difference of an ambassador and a member. So a lot of women here are signing up ambassadors, which is great. You see like somebody that, wants to share this with other people. That's amazing. But what's also amazing is having members too. Some people are actually better off signing up just as a member, which guess what? It pays you out just the same. But the minute you sign them up as an ambassador, that 30-day clock starts and the double bonuses start. And sometimes it takes people a second to get in the groove, to get a feel, and then that part goes away. So I get it. You want to think about who can you share this with? Who can you share this with? But what's also great is how about you just get immersed, and when you're ready, let's create a list and let's, start to reach out to the people. If you already have people in your heart and you want to do it, great. If you want to take time to really get into the weeds of what's happening here, also great. So what does that mean for you? Even though they're not an ambassador sharing this, when they are just a member, all those points actually get drawn into personal points inside the compensation plan. What's amazing about personal points is all your members go into the personal point bracket, and every single point counts towards ranking up. Every single point. There's no cap. So you could have 5,000 points in your personal points because you have that many members, and all of that gets to count. There's no cap. How amazing is that? Because when you are ranking up as an ambassador, there's certain caps and certain legs, and that's not a bad thing. So it's also good that you have members in there too. It's also good. And guess what? When they're in there and engaged, they're going to want to share this. And now it's the best of all worlds. So the last piece on the ambassador or the member part that I also want to share is I've had some women ask, well, the person I'm talking to doesn't really want to share this, doesn't really want to do the business piece. So I don't really know if this is for them. Ooh, no. Let's scrap that. This is 100% for them. Just because they can't see themselves sharing it yet doesn't mean that we don't want them to get plugged in. Them plugging in is going to help them grow, obviously, personally and professionally. And eventually they may see it or not. There's going to be people here that just don't want to share it, and they just want to come in and be fed, and that's okay. It's a benefit for all. It truly is. I also get the question of, oh, okay, well, how's this going to benefit me? I'm a coach, I'm doing this, I want to grow my business. Well, you definitely need to be in here if you want to grow your business and you want to grow your impact. Why? Because as a coach, what are they thinking? I want more leads, more sales, more impact, more everything. When you work on yourself and you partner with God to do it, guess what's going to happen? Fresh strategy, fresh visions, clarity on what you need to do next, and the resources to come alongside you to learn from other women that God has placed here to pour into you. So just because they don't want to build, that's okay. I have a strong feeling eventually they will, because when you see the results that you're going to get when you're engaged here and you bringing these women in, helping them get started, even just as members, just keep encouraging them to get engaged. Hey, what course are you into? What do you think about that live call? Like, encourage them to get in, because when they get in and they see what's really happening here, they're going to want to share it. They're going to want to share it. And if not, again, that's okay. But yes, like Natalie said, coaches need coaches too. So when people are like, oh, I'm already a coach, I'm already doing all these things, like sometimes that can be like I got it, I don't need anybody else. And that could be based in a pride issue. It could. Why? Because I was there a long time ago. I totally was like, no, I don't need anybody. I got it. I'm good. And that was based out of pride of like a lot of different things. And the Lord had to break me of that many times, just to be honest. But they need to come in here because they're going to want the strategy. They're going to want to be in this environment. And then you're opening them up to so much more. There's so many facets of what we do here, from Radiant Leadership Academy, the RLC, ambassador, being a member. There's so many different amazing pieces here. Come alongside them being like, what is it that you would like to get out of it? How can I best support you? And that could just be a member first. And that's great. And then 30 days, check in with them. How's it going? Oh, amazing. Okay, awesome. I just want to, let you know in case you're ever interested, I'm happy to help you get your membership paid for if you're ever interested in that. And you just keep seeding it, right? So I just want to share that because that was something that came up for me from a lot of questions from all of you over the last week or so. And so I just like to highlight things of like, look, there's so many different ways that people can benefit from here, which is amazing. It's so multifaceted. It's so multifaceted. So that going back to the CEO of your business part, it's getting to know, okay, I'm going to go through the compensation plan doc today. Okay, I'm going to go study the statement of faith today. Okay, I'm going to study what kind of different courses do we have in here. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to study ... and just keep taking that deeper dive and take ownership. Take ownership because you're a part of this, a vital part. And when you take ownership and you're confident of all the different pieces, and it's going to take some time to learn, you're not going to just learn it overnight. You're going to have so much more confidence moving forward of like, okay, Becky, this is exactly how this is going to be able to benefit you. Sarah, oh, perfect. Here's a really great route for you. And now you can really confidently guide them rather than being like, well, I don't really know. If you don't need this, I guess I'll just follow up with you later. No, you're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. And I want to support that reason. And I want to know why you want to be here. And I want to know what your dreams and visions are. And I want to hold you to it. I want to hold you to it. I don't want to just talk about it. Let's be about it. And let's cultivate this. Oh, it's my favorite part. My favorite part is to ask people, what would you like to see a year from now? What would you like to see yourself a year from now? Most of the time it's a money thing or an impact thing. Great. What are you doing to get there? Sometimes you get crickets. You get nothing. Oh, well, you know, why don't you want to be in a, like, why wouldn't you want to be in a place where you can really be able to have that bubble over? Because when you are in his presence, when you are spending time around other women that are in his presence, it is going to start bringing up things that you've never seen before. And that's what I truly, truly love about this community. All right, let me see. I don't know if there's any questions in here. So that's pretty much it. Let me just see if there's any questions. Members are just as important and needed. You get paid on members too. Yes, absolutely. As coaches, we need to be fed more. Yes, because you can't pour out of an empty cup. I talk about that so often on through 8 calls and getting started calls. God will give you new ideas needed for your success. Yes, utilizing the resources here will definitely help you grow and leverage and add value to your brand. 100%. You can't fill from an empty cup. Yes, this is the best fed I have been since I started my business, and I've had a lot of coaches. Oh, that's amazing, Danae. Thank you for sharing. Patrice, who is brand new, by the way, super excited to have you here. Love the opportunity to be a part of a team and to be independent instead of independent. To be interdependent instead of independent, like I have been most of my life. The Lord has healed me to be at the place that I can do this. I love that. Then you said you're so impressed by the deep spirituality and leaning on Jesus that GPA is. Yes, yes, absolutely. Like I said, we get to go to church too. Whatever God wants to be able to share, because the strategy on how to grow your business, it first starts rooted in him. And what does he say? Where is he going? Where is he guiding? And are you creating that space to hear his voice? That's the last piece of this. Like, are you creating that space, or are you doing most of the talking? Lord, I need, Lord, I want, Lord, been there. Or probably God's like, Molly, be quiet. I can't give you what you're asking for because you're so loud and saying the same thing. It's probably really obnoxious, but God is a lot more gracious than I am. So it's giving him that space to be able to talk. And sometimes that could be that awkward silence for like 10 minutes. I don't know. I have no idea what that's going to look like, but hopefully this has been able to bless you guys. Take something from this and go share it. If there's something out on this training that spoke to you, go share it on your social media. Go share it on a profile. Go share it somewhere. Whether it's the gallery view here, a picture of yourself, like go share. When you learn something, don't just keep it in. Now you can definitely keep it in and meditate on it. Be like, okay, Lord, let's dive in deeper, but also share it, because your revelations are going to be revelations for other people. And that's the best marketing for this opportunity that you can have. It's not a script. It's not a like, here's like this copy paste post, which Ferris has done amazing. There's a lot of really good ones, but the best ones is what God's doing in and through you, hands down. And I know a lot of you are doing that. And if you're brand new, like that is the best place to share this. Now, this is just a resource to help other people get that same or even better experience. That's all it is. Because when people see you growing, they're like, okay, well, what do I need to do to get there? this is a place for them to do it. And it relieves you because you're not doing any of the coaching, any of the calls, anything. All you're doing is introducing them to something and they can plug in and then have that experience. So the leverage is so real here. So that is all I have for you guys this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. If there's anybody brand new on the call, thank you for being here. You could be anywhere else, but you want to hear what God is doing here. And I encourage you to take that leap and press in. And for all of you that are our ambassadors that are here, we love you. We appreciate you. And we're just so excited for what God's doing in and through you. And if you need anything, through a call, through a chat, anything, vision casting call, don't hesitate to reach out, shoot me a personal message and we'll make it happen. So have a great rest of your evening, ladies. Good night.